Show y'all how to easily propagate everbearing mulberry, any kind of mulberry, and this really works for most plants here that can be rooted. You see these are all little fruits on here. Everbearing mulberry will produce at an extremely young age. Probably not ideal to be pushing out fruit before you have a really good root system, but I mean they can handle it. It would be better to pick the fruits off and let the energy be focused on roots at this time. But there's so many of them, so many fruits. I'm not really even going to bother with it. And these are really hardy plants. They're very easy to root, very easy to grow, very tasty as well. Now, as you can see here, this soil looks a little bit different than the ones I did with the native elderberry. This was 70% cocoa coir, 30% perlite, and that is a great propagating soil to use, but it doesn't have nutrients in it. You can see over here I ran out of the coconut coir, that's why I didn't use that. It's a little bit more pricey. But right here I've just got regular potting soil that I made up. It's got peat moss, perlite, compost, what else? Azomite, and I think that's it. But you can see here, now this can stay longer with potting soil because it has nutrients in the soil than with the perlite and coconut coir. They will still need to be repotted. I could maybe give these a tiny bit more time in here. So if you were to want to have more time in between repotting them, you can use the potting soil. I think with the really easy stuff, it doesn't really matter. If you're trying to root some more valuable, harder cuttings, I'd go with that coconut coir perlite. But you can see these just did great. So you want to put these in the shade to propagate. I've got these under some bananas, and this tub, right now we're in winter, so the sun is at a very low angle. So it's not really getting direct sun here, which is good. And then you want your average temperatures to be in the 70s. It's in a greenhouse, so it stays fairly warm in here. It gets extra hot and then it cools off, but the average is around the 70s, and you can see how good. I don't know if it's 100% success or very close. Look, no, that one's got, I don't see any that failed. They all have sprouts on them. And the same thing with the elderberry. I can't find one that failed. It's the temperature, staying moist, having perlite for your drainage. That'll keep you from doing it, and avoiding the sunlight. And you pretty much got it. I mean, that's the key. Those are the tricks. If you do not follow those, if you have extreme temperature, too much sunlight, too moist, which would really only be if you didn't have the enough perlite, or too dry, then it would fail. Your substrate, besides the perlite, for the drainage, it isn't as important. And the type of cutting is extremely important. So like mulberry, elderberry, figs, pomegranate, prickly pear, dragon fruit, these are really easy. There's many other types of plants that are not easy to propagate.